Woo! Welcome to 2021. 2020 was crazy. Happy New Year, everyone. But we made it. We made it. It's a brand new year, and this is a brand new you. I know I worked on myself all throughout 2020, and I'm so blessed and so grateful to have created this podcast and just created a platform for people to hear all these positive perspectives. Last year's guests were absolutely amazing, but this year's guests are just as amazing, and I cannot even believe I have my favorite fitness influencer on today. She is absolutely amazing. She is an influencer on Instagram and TikTok and about to start some great new ventures that she'll talk about. She is from Orange County, California, a personal trainer, a fitness influencer, like I said, and we both love sports cars. We love fashion. We love the positive mindset. She is empowering women daily and empowering herself as well, and I absolutely love her perspective that she brings onto the podcast. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you all got through 2020 okay and are ready to take on 2021. I know I'm excited for a fresh start. Today's guest has been one of my main influencers that I've looked up to during quarantine. She is a fitness queen, a role model, and such a strong and powerful individual. I cannot wait for you guys to listen. So please welcome Savi. Thank you so much for coming on.
Hi guys, I'm Savi. Thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited.
Yeah. And she said this is her first podcast, and I'm so blessed to be the first one to host her. She is just an amazing girl, and I cannot wait for you guys to see what she has in store. Because if you don't follow her on social, maybe you'll learn a little bit more. Maybe you'll go to her social and learn even more. So let's get into it. So, one question that I always ask my guests is what defines your lifestyle?
What defines my lifestyle? I guess health would definitely define my lifestyle. Health is wealth, right? I've worked in the health industry in several ways. I was an athlete for a long time, for over 10 years, competed nationally, was always in sports. And then I went into coaching, gymnastics. So I was still in the sports. I did softball, tumbling, gymnastics, competitive cheer. And then I joined my mom's company. She founded a CPR training center. And so it was really nice, like being able to train people, keep them in line with their licenses. I love business. And so it was cool, like figuring out their insurance and tax breaks and everything. But the best part of it was like having students come back to me and tell me about the lives they saved. So that was really heartwarming. And then through college, before I decided to study nutrition, I thought I was going to be a physical therapist for a while because I thought it'd be really cool to help people like come back to their lives because I know what it's like to be an injured athlete. And so that was another like really good feel good job. Didn't do that. And then I kept working with my mom and then ended up going into personal training when I discovered my passions for fitness and following through with that on Instagram as well. So I've always worked with health in one way or another.
I love that. And I love how health can be all encompassing. It means body, mind, and soul, which I'm sure we'll get into. But I think it's so personal to you that it really shows in your work and in your content in general. And I think that is such a interesting and really passion driven story, which is awesome. So, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Maybe tell us what excites you daily, tell us your passions, and get more into the details.
Ooh, okay. So I am 21 years old. I'm Vietnamese. I was born and raised in Orange County. I do all my personal training in Orange County. Yeah, I guess so. What excites me every day? I really look forward to my one on one trainings. I just recently got back into in person training. I was doing online for a little while. Now I'm doing a bit of a mixture of both. I really love the in person because I've developed really great relationships with all of them. And yeah, it's really cool to help someone feel better, whether it be from an injury or reaching their fitness goals or just boosting their confidence. And working out is just so good for your mental health and paired with achieving their desired results. I definitely notice a huge difference in their happiness and mood, and that makes me feel good. So that I definitely look forward to that every day. I also, I'm kind of weird. I truly enjoy working out. Like I know everyone hates it.
Me
I
too,
know the
though.
burn sucks. Yeah, right. If I could work out all day long and if that was healthy and sustainable, I would. Like I love working out. Like the burning, the fatigue, it's great to me.
No, Honestly, I can totally agree with that. It's been harder for me now that I've been home without a gym to go to, but I wish I could do like bar class all the time and dance class and just like stay active all the time because it's just so fulfilling and so exciting to me.
Hmm.
I love that. So, if you didn't know, Savi is a TikTok star. She has thousands of followers and has built up an audience, which is so impressive. And I'm so lucky to have her on as a guest today. So, thank you for that. And I love hearing about everyone's backgrounds, and I would love to hear more about your fitness journey in general. But first of all, how and why did you start a TikTok? Or like where did your social media journey actually begin?
The whole thing. Oh gosh. Okay. So what's funny is I had an Instagram before. It was just a personal account. I didn't really post every day and stuff. And I decided to try and get something online going when quarantine hit. And so it took me a little while to build up the courage and actually do the thing. And so, yeah, so quarantine started for me here on March 16th or March 19th, somewhere around then. And I didn't start until May. May 6th is the day that I made my Instagram account. I'm a nerd. I know the date because it's so special to me. But yeah, so I made it in May. And then I started building it and building it. And I kind of got the hang of it. I realized I really enjoyed it. And I figured out that it was good to like stick to a niche. And so I was like, okay, I'll
Mhm.
go with the thing that I love the most. Because at first it was a little bit of everything. It was like all the things I loved. I was a car enthusiast on it. I was a fashion stylist on it. I was a fitness like influencer on it. And so then I had to take a break and look at what I really wanted out of it. And once it started rolling, I realized that it was a really great platform to use to reach more people. And so, what better thing than to pursue my passions while also helping people at the same time? And so, yeah, so that's how it all started. And then, how I got on TikTok was I met my good friend Ryan Chua on there. His Instagram is Ryan by Ryan Chua. And he was talking to me about TikTok, and we FaceTimed before we met. And he was like, "Oh, do you have a TikTok?" And I was like, "Oh, no, I'm too old for that. Like, I don't know how to use it and I
Me
don't get
too.
it. I don't understand the trends. I can't make videos." And he was like, "Well, you're never going to be too old for it. Like, why would you ever say no to another platform that's going to bring more people to your Instagram platform and eventually like help you reach more women and help them reach their goals and things?" And I was like, "You know what? You're right." And so we started making TikToks and I ended up loving it. It's so much fun to create content and to like reach more people that way. I've met lots of people through TikTok, and it's brought me a ton of opportunities and brought them towards my other platforms like Instagram. I do plan on starting a YouTube soon, but that's in the future.
That's exciting. That's amazing. I love that story. And I'm kind of, I guess, in the stage of like, I post everything because I'm like lifestyle. But how did you really decide to narrow down on fitness? Did you feel like you were losing yourself without posting the other things?
um, no, because this happened during quarantine, it was like one of the only like happinesses I could find. I don't know how to better word that, but it was something for me to do that I really enjoyed, whereas I couldn't do all the other things that I really enjoy.
Mm.
Like there's not that much you can do from home, and so yeah, I was just being safe and quarantining, doing my part with everything going on. And so I was working out at home and stuff. It was really hard to get through it because I'm big into weightlifting and
Yes.
I live in a little one bedroom apartment in Newport. And so I don't have room for any equipment there. So I had to learn other workouts and stuff, but it ended up making me a really well rounded trainer because I figured out how to do alternatives without workout
Mm.
equipment or with minimal workout equipment or other styles like high intensity interval training, things like that, or calisthenics. Yeah. So it brought all good things. It was a hard process, but I ended up picking fitness because it's what I loved creating content for most. It's like endless content. There's so many different
Mhm.
kinds of workouts. That's one thing that I love about working out is that there's no right way to do it. Like there's something for everyone. And so I liked it for the content aspect. And then once I got my foot in the door and was inspiring other women and I was getting good feedback on how they were motivated to take care of themselves and they felt so much better about themselves and everything, then I was like, yeah, this is for me. Like I love this.
I love that because it was the most rewarding to you.
Hmm.
So it kind of happened organically, which that's awesome. And did you expect all of this to change your life so drastically?
Oh my gosh, not at all. When I first started, I thought that I was just gonna keep working out on the side and everything, and like I was gonna be a fashion influencer or something. I was like, there's way too many people in the fitness industry because those are all the kinds of people that I followed. And
Hmm.
so my page was just all like the entire world of fitness. And so I was like, gosh, it's such a saturated business. Like, how am I ever gonna get into this myself? And so I wasn't expecting it at all. I'm really grateful for all the opportunities that have come forward through social media. Yeah, so it's still like unreal to me. Like it feels like I'm living a fairy tale. It's like a dream come true.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And what is it like being an influencer, I guess? Because a few months ago it was different, but how is it like now for you?
Well, since I started like during the quarantine, I never got that hit. I know a lot of people took a big hit with marketing budgets going
Mhm.
down and everything, but I wasn't an influencer pre-quarantine, so I don't really know what it was like beforehand.
True.
Um, yeah, so but for today, I've obviously grown a little more, and so I've had more opportunities come in. So it's only gotten better for me, really.
Hmm, that's
Yeah.
really awesome. And I think you were just so responsive and so kind when I messaged her. I was like, yeah, I just get to message her because we have so much in common and she inspired me. So I did. And when you put out a DM on Instagram, you're like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll forget about it. Maybe she'll respond. But she responded, people, obviously. And she is just so sweet and so inspiring. And yeah, so how do you keep up with all the messages and DMs in general?
Oh my gosh, I so my DMs are gosh, they're pretty cluttered. I kind of get overwhelmed by them and then they just get more overwhelming. So I'm trying to get better about organizing that. I'm actually a lot easier to reach via email.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, me too, I get it. Good to know, but tell us about being an Asian fitness influencer. We are both Asian, so I guess we have that similar lens in the world, but do you ever get feedback on that, or, like, how has it changed your influencing on social media?
So I actually grew up in a community that didn't have very many Asians. And
Me too.
so I didn't have any Asian friends growing up. And so with social media, the community that I've been brought into has done nothing but good for me. I've never been more proud of my culture than ever. And so it's really cool that I have all these other Asian friends that I can relate to that I've never had before. And it's weird to say they're my friends because I've never met them, but like
Mhm.
it's fun that we get to talk every single day and it really feels like they're actually my friends.
Yeah, no, I honestly can totally relate to that because I'm sitting in the middle of nowhere, New Hampshire, and my sister and I are like the only Asians in town, basically. And I kind of forget that I'm Asian in a sense because everyone around me is not. But again, it's so nice with social media to find your community and find that tribe in a sense.
Yeah, before I never really embraced my culture. Like my mom moved here from Vietnam and
Wow.
she only spoke English in the house because she was scared that if we grew up with accents, then we'd get bullied in school.
Mm.
So as you can tell, I sound pretty American. I sound very Californian. But yeah, and so I really never embraced my culture. And with everyone around me not being Asian, it felt unnormal in a way. And
Mhm.
so it's really cool that I haven't felt that recently and that I have this community to support me and stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's an amazing thing to be an Asian fitness influencer because I feel like there's not a lot out there. And at least for me, it's hard to relate to other influencers out there because we don't have this same body type or we don't have the same types of genes. And I'm like, okay, I'm never going to be that curvy like Kim Kardashian. I'm just not. So it was really nice to find you because we have a smaller build in a sense, and it just was that push towards your Instagram in a good way.
Yeah, our femurs and pelvic are stacked a little more similarly, but
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like there aren't that many Asian fitness influencers too. So I'm really trying to hard to get my foot in the door and push this fitness thing. It'd be really nice to see more Asian influence there. I know there's Chloe Ting and Blogilates, they're
Yes.
pretty big, but I I haven't seen very many who do like any strength training or
Mhm.
weightlifting, bodybuilding, things like that.
Yeah. No, that's awesome because I kind of do similar workouts to you, and I think it's people look at us and they're like, you don't weight lift, but actually, our muscles are there, people. but
Yes.
but it's funny just because people like take us or at least me, take me for granted because they're like, you're so small, but then they realize how strong I am once they see I can lift like a weight.
Yeah, Shakespeare said, though she be but little, she was fierce. And that's a quote that I really like.
Oh my gosh, I love that. You should put that on a t-shirt. I would buy it. So let's talk about your confidence in general because you talked about building up your confidence in order to post. And I think I've worked on that too a lot during quarantine. Like before this, I would not even like take a Instagram story of myself talking. Like I wouldn't have done that before quarantine, but I think I've worked on it and I've gotten better at it. And same with TikToks and putting out this podcast and stuff. But did you prepare you for the constructive or the negative feedback? Because I'm sure, do you get constructive feedback?
I do. There's a lot of people who say things that they shouldn't. I mean, it's crazy. I thankfully have a really thick skin. I can't imagine how it would make me feel if I didn't. And
Yeah.
so that's definitely something to prepare for. As for talking on the camera, thankfully, as a performer, like on stage for competing and stuff or playing in sports, that helped a
Mhm.
lot. So I've always been comfortable with things like that.
Good.
And then confidence wise, I was iffy about what people would think about me posting all the time. And so I straight up made a whole new account and didn't tell anyone. I didn't tell anyone I knew until like months in, and until like they started finding me just through the explore page, and they're like, what the heck, Savvy? This account has like 50,000 followers. When did you make this? I'm like, yeah, I just wanted a judgment free place where I could post whatever I wanted and just be me. Now I don't mind. Now I tell
Mhm.
everyone about it. And I've grown since then. So it helped me get more comfortable. But I definitely needed that judgment free environment to help push myself.
No, I love that because honestly, just recently first started to get some constructive feedback, and I invite all feedback, but I had a hard time at first just taking it in. But I think I need to grow in that aspect, but also I do share with people I know, which makes it harder in a sense.
Yeah, you're always thinking like, oh, what is this person gonna
I
think if I
know.
post this? Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like people say stuff. My dad said something like people say stuff on the internet that they would not tell you in person. So it's kind of like a weird thing.
Yeah, I mean, and it's important to remember that you are posting it because you want to, and it's the
Right.
content that you like. So it kind of doesn't matter what other people think. So
Yeah.
constructive criticism is great, but at the end of the day, if it's making you happy, then that's all that matters.
You're so right. You're so right. And I always say too, like on my social medias, I post a lot, but I'm promoting myself and like my business and like my podcast and what I do. And I think it's good for influencers who are running their businesses to do that because it's like McDonald's has so many ads on TV. So it's kind of like the same thing for us on Instagram.
Right. And even outside of Instagram, you should be your own number one supporter too. Like if you're not there for yourself, why should anyone else be? So gotta have that self-love and self-respect and be your own
Yeah.
number one fan.
Yeah, no, honestly, and I love that like mantra that you have and it shines through. You're very confident on your media pages and it's just so inspiring yet again.
You're so sweet.
Oh, so tell me about other people who inspired you.
People who inspire me on social media, that there's a lot of people who inspire me on social media. Two really stand out. I already mentioned one before, Ryan by Ryan Chua, and
Mhm.
then Brett Contreras. They are in completely different worlds. They actually haven't met each other yet either. Ryan has been like my biggest supporter and like biggest influence when it comes to social media and growing my brand. And he's been a great like just yeah inspiration. He works really hard in social media. He's grown a lot on TikTok. He's great at creating content. He's a photographer. Yeah, he's been awesome. And then Brett Contreras is a trainer. He's done quite a few case studies. He invented the hip thrust and a few other exercises and stuff. So he has a
Oh.
pretty big footprint in the evolution of the fitness world. And so he's been a great coach and mentor and everything fitness related for sure.
Wow, that's awesome. And I love how you said mentor. I'm all about mentorship. I started a program at my school because I think without mentors, whether they're your best friend, your mom, your dad, or anyone, like we would not be where we are today. So it's so important.
Yeah, definitely. And there's always something that other people can teach you too.
Yes, definitely. Most definitely. So let's get more into your fitness, your health after we learned so much about you, but I want to know more about your workout routine. So tell us about your workout routine. What do you do? How do you plan it out?
How do I plan it out? So for a while, I was kind of just winging it and figuring out what I'm going to do once I got to the gym. I know a lot of people like to pre-plan to
Mhm.
save time, but like I said, I just really enjoy the gym. So that was a fun thing for me to do, to walk into the gym, look around, decide what I'm going to do. And I also wanted to like make sure all of the equipment that I needed wasn't taken up or anything. So that way my flow wouldn't be
Mm.
disrupted. And so, yes, I worked out like that for a while. My primary workouts have always consisted of weightlifting and bodybuilding type of workouts. And then this year, I started going into strength training and I want to get stronger while also improving my physique. And
Mhm.
so I still do weightlifting. I am getting stronger. I just started following a program, Brett, and I actually just started having him coach me in fitness, like as a client kind of relationship a couple weeks, less than 2 weeks ago. So that's super duper recent.
Wow.
Yeah. So for that, it's more of like a 4 week program that changes every month, and
Hmm.
it's focused on my physique and strength.
Wow, that's awesome. And in the beginning, was it hard for you to build muscle? Because when I was really young, I think I did workouts just from YouTube or something like that, but I had a really hard time building muscle and still I started lifting and doing machine type workouts, but was it hard for you?
So this is always super surprising. At the beginning of my fitness industry, I was actually losing weight. I wasn't trying to build on muscle. Everyone always like hates on me on Instagram. They're like, "You were just a skinny girl that put some abs on yourself. Like, don't be talking about fitness and stuff." But actually, because I was an athlete for so long, over 10 years, from like cheerleading and tumbling and gymnastics, those are sports where you bulk on a lot of like lower body muscles, and
Mhm.
it was using a lot of the front of my body, not really the backside. And so I had really big quads and biceps, and my glutes and hamstrings weren't as big as I wanted.
Mhm.
Everything else I wanted smaller. I'm pretty short, and so I like to lengthen myself. That's just my personal preference for physique.
Yep.
And so I had more muscle in places I didn't want it, and less muscle in places where I wanted more of it. And so at the beginning of my fitness industry, it was a lot of um, fat loss and also muscle loss. So I had to go
Mhm.
through calorie deficits and muscle atrophy and work on slimming down and building other parts of my body. By the time I got to the physique that I really wanted, I was down 25 pounds without even realizing it.
Wow.
I didn't even know until I went to my next doctor's appointment. I got my checkup, and he was like, "Wow, you're 25 pounds lighter." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, what, where?"
I know. That's funny. Yeah, that's funny because for me too, like I was really thin at the beginning of my fitness journey, but I think I'm about the same. Like I put on muscle and you can see that, but I it's funny how like our weights are fluctuating in a sense, maybe opposite of some other people's.
Yeah, it's crazy that like you're gaining weight, but you're still the same mass size.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's also good to say that because some people freak out when they gain weight or freak out when they lose weight, but it's like different for everyone.
Yeah, I've never, excuse me, I never use the scale. I've always just kind of looked in the mirror and decided my physique that way. I'm really big on not looking at the number on the scale because it there are so many factors that go into it,
Yeah.
like your water weight, your muscle gain and loss, your fat gain and loss. Like maybe you like had too much sodium the other day, so you're looking
Mm.
puffy. So many factors.
That's a really good point, and I honestly can say when I was younger, I was never anorexic, I was just maybe too cautious of what I ate and what I did, and I looked at the number way too much, and that, like, messed with my head so much, but I learned recently, like, you just can't.
Yeah,
Yeah, and how tall are you, by the way?
I am 5'2".
Okay, I'm 5'3", but I was 5'1", and here's a tip for anyone and everyone. I my goal in 7th grade for some reason was to be at least 5'3" because my doctor was like, "You're gonna be 5 feet." And I was like, "That's so short." But what I did was I did yoga. If I don't love yoga because it's very slow and kind of boring, but if you do very lengthening exercises like downward dog and things like that, like, I grew 2 inches. So I
Oh,
mean,
that's amazing.
yeah,
Sounds good for your posture too. Like you'll stand
exactly.
up taller. I like it.
Yeah, so honestly, if you wanna grow maybe an inch, it might help anyone who's listening. So what do you have for tips to empower other small women who are into fitness? Because not everyone's so tall or so curvy. What do you have for tips for us tiny people?
Well, it's always good to be realistic. And it's always good to remember that your goals are more important than your lack of motivation. I
Mm,
know it's really hard to build healthy habits and get into the habit for social media, build the habit of like posting all the time and being vulnerable and sharing your fitness journey with everyone. But consistency is always going to be key, whether it be your socials or fitness. And so the more often you do it, the more it's going to click and you'll build that habit eventually.
I love that, and that's for any size person. That's awesome. Um, and what is one of the biggest fitness myths that you can bust for people?
One of the biggest fitness myths is that you can't eat everything you want. I'm really big into flexible dieting. There's definitely a way to balance it. I feel like restriction just leads to binging and like sending out craving signals if you completely cut it out. Carbs are not the enemy. They're not totally bad for you. In excess, yes, but in excess, everything is bad for you.
Right.
And so you can still eat all the foods that you want while still maintaining a healthy diet. Just like with everything else, there's balance. And so, balance with your nutrition is really important. If I want to go heavy on carbs for dinner, for example, then I'll be lighter for the rest of the day so that my macros still hit the same targets, even if I eat like a little bit of carbs throughout the day, you know?
Mhm. Yeah, honestly, on her Instagram, I get so inspired for my meals because she posts such yummy looking things, and I love how you're like cheat day and like you really show what you eat. So what do you do when you're not feeling it? When you're just like so out of it, you don't want to work out and you don't want to eat healthy for the day. What is something that really helps you?
Um, I always remember that my goals are more important than my lack of motivation.
Mhm.
And so if I'm just feeling lazy, just not wanting to do it, I remember that I always feel so much better once I do my workout. Like there are so many days where you don't want to get out of bed or going to the gym feels daunting, but when you actually do it, it always feels good afterwards and during too because I love it so much. But if it's just an off day, I'm really tired and or I'm really sore or something, then I listen to my body and I do take a rest day because humans aren't meant to train all day every day. We got to listen to our bodies and give ourselves a break. I think rest days are just as important as active days.
Yeah, that's true. That's really important. And what type of workout has been your favorite recently? Like what has been really exciting for you?
Um, I so my the front side of my body is pretty strong. Um, I have a pretty strong core. I'm really happy with it. And so I've actually been really loving working my lower body and really engaging my glutes and working on growing those. Of course, everyone wants a booty, but yeah. And so I've been having a lot of fun really focusing on it and paying attention to my macros, making sure I'm replenishing myself and feeding my muscles, giving them good nutrition and fuel to grow and repair and stuff because we can't expect something without trying for it. And so it's been really fun paying extra attention to it. And I'm excited to see how my results turn out.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Honestly, I've been working on my lower body too, but I think what I could work on is focusing on how much protein I'm getting because I only eat turkey and chicken. So I think I possibly could be missing out on some protein.
Yeah, for that, it is really hard to eat enough protein. Most people don't. You're supposed to
Mhm.
eat around a gram of protein per pound of your body weight, roughly. And so, what I like to do to make sure I'm hitting that macro target is by drinking protein shakes.
Mm. Yeah, I see I'm hesitant about that. I don't know why. Maybe just because I'm not like used to it, but like which one do you like the best?
First Form is my favorite. It's a little bit pricier. I also really like Max Muscles products.
Oh, interesting. And do you think they've seriously like helped you within your fitness journey?
Yeah, for sure. Because, like I said, it's really hard for me to hit my macro targets with
Yeah,
protein. It's really easy for me to hit carbs and fat, but with protein, I definitely have difficulty and struggle there. I like to drink whey isolate because it's mostly protein and they take the dairy out. I do try to avoid as much dairy consumption as possible
me
for
too.
skin reasons.
Yes. Yeah. I don't eat dairy. I worked at an ice cream place for like 4 years and I decided when I started, I'm like, I'm not gonna eat it. And now I'm just like intolerant to it. So yeah, me too.
Oh wow. Yeah, I have friends who have developed the intolerancy like way
Yeah.
later into their life. That's crazy.
Yeah. I don't think it's like just a stereotype Asian thing. I think it just happened for me.
Oh yeah, I think this is the statistic, I'm not sure, but around 80% of Asians are lactose intolerant since it's not like big in Asian culture to drink milk and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I found good substitutes. Like I really like cashew cheese because after like 4 years, I'm like, I need to have some type of cheese. But
Yeah.
but yeah, talk to us about your skincare because if you go see one of her pictures, her skin's beautiful. But like talk
Thank
to us
you.
about that.
Okay, so for my skincare, it changes because my skin goes through changes. So the products depend on whether it's dry or oily or normal. But every day, depending, so the products change, but my routine doesn't. So I always take off my makeup with a makeup remover wipe. And then I'll go over that with micellar water. I use reusable cotton pads. They're not made of cotton, they're like washable ones because they're more eco friendly and they're softer on my skin. So I
Love
use
that.
micellar water on my quote cotton pad. And then after that, I wash my face. The face wash depends on my skin that day. And then I go over with a toner. Then I put an acne topical on. And so I do this at night so that I don't get into the sun with
Mhm.
acne topical. And then I do a serum if I'm feeling kind of dry, or if I just need a moisturizer, then I'll use a moisturizer. Otherwise, I'll go over the serum with my moisturizer. So I really like layering products. Oh, and before I put on all my products, I use hyaluronic acid too. It helps it
Oh.
absorb into the skin more.
Nice. What
Yeah.
I love that. And what I've tried recently is coconut oil. I have it right there. But I put it on my under eyes at night and then I wash it off in the morning and it like brightens your eyes and makes them not wrinkly. Not that I'm wrinkly, but it's
I'll have to
been
try
like
that.
good. Yeah. And also I've used what is it? Apple cider vinegar. It sounds weird, but I put it on my skin in the shower on my face and it makes your skin feel like a baby's bottom and then put it in your hair a little bit and it makes your hair so soft, at least for my hair. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I know you said you don't have any wrinkles yet, but it's so good that you're doing that because anti-aging starts in your 20s. So
Oh,
preventative is better than treatment.
good to know. Yeah. And I mean, I look young in general, but I just want to look young forever, I guess. And another tip for everyone is sunscreen. It's so important to protect your skin. And you might be like, well, everyone's tan, but it's like sunscreen's so important.
Yes, I wear sunscreen every day. That's why I always have a baseball cap on, actually. It's for
Oh.
sun protection.
Tip right there. Perfect for anyone, especially in sunny California. Maybe not New Hampshire.
Have you been?
Oh, no, I've been to Oregon. I was super young, but I almost went to school for California. When I was younger in high school, I was like, I really love California, just the warmth, the palm trees, but I'll have to visit someday.
Yes, let me know when you visit. We'll do a little personal training
Oh
session
my
together.
gosh. I would love that. That would be so much fun. So, let's talk about your goal for 2021. I know 2020 has been really tough for a lot of people, ups and downs everywhere, even for me. And we're hoping for the best for 2021. But what are your hopes?
My hopes. So at the beginning of the podcast, I mentioned that I was working for my mom's CPR training center. I was her vice president of operations, and that has always been my plan since I was 15 years old.
Wow.
I graduated college and high school really early, and so I started working really soon. And it was always my intention to eventually take over the company. And then I found this passion through social media, and so at first it started as a side thing and I was just doing a few clients and I was doing my social media. And
Mhm.
then once I got the hang of it and it started to take off a little more, I decided that I wanted to put my full heart into it. And so I quit my job that I thought I was going to have for the rest of my life and
Mm.
started pursuing fitness full time. That happened December 1st, so very recent. Yeah. And so I started pursuing that. So that's definitely my goal to take that farther into 2021, start my YouTube channel that we talked about, and
So
then also
exciting.
come out with a workout guide, a nutrition guide, and eventually an online program where I can train you virtually every month. So that is going to be super exciting. I hope more girls can join our community and inspire each other and help us all find a healthy way to thrive together. So
Oh
that
my
is the big
gosh.
goal. Yeah.
I love that. And I will be the first to sign up and watch all your YouTubes.
Perfect.
Yeah. No, but talk to me about leaving your job because I think that's a big thing for a lot of creative entrepreneurs, and just girl bosses in general. They're like, they think they have a path, but then when they find their true passion, they go the other direction. And I'm kind of experiencing that too. Was your family supportive?
They were so supportive. My mom was really funny about it because she just wanted to brighten the mood because I was just like, how can something so exciting feel so terrifying at the same time?
Yes.
And she's like, you know what? You're only going to be young and beautiful once. Do it while you can. And so she's like,
I love it.
worst case, in 3 months, if it doesn't work out, or even in 3 years, you're not going to be old and retired and incapable of working.
Mhm.
CPR will always be here for you. Whatever job you had before will always be here for you. These opportunities and these doors that are opening will not be. And so I jumped the gun and I did the thing.
Oh my gosh. No, that's so amazing. I love how supportive she was for you. And I think that's the number one thing, like just having a supportive community in general around you. And that's amazing. You're thriving. I love it.
I know the two people that I said inspire me most with fitness and social media are actually like the two first people I called and told them about this too. I was like, hey, I have something to tell you. And I was so scared. And so I got their advice on it. And when they were so supportive and there for me and willing to back me for all these things, I felt a lot more comfortable. So, yeah, what you said about having a community that supports you definitely helps.
Wow, I love that. It comes down to mentorship, community, and all of that. And I think, at least for me, I feel uncomfortable or like I like being uncomfortable. When I'm too comfortable, I'm like I'm bored. What's wrong with me? Something's up. But do you agree?
Oh gosh, I wish I agreed, but the thing is, this was all so scary for me to do and to like leave my job and start this new career of all times going into fitness during a pandemic. Like who does
Yeah.
that? And so I was terrified. I'm very, very plan orientated. I like to
Mhm.
have a case scenario and resolution for like case scenario A, B, and C, have a resolution A, B, and C, every possible outcome, be prepared for it. I don't like surprises. I'm not very spontaneous. And so this was really difficult for
Oh,
me to do.
wow. Well, kudos to you, and honestly, I can say the same thing. I agree with you in that sense too because I'm like I can show you all my notebooks around me. I love plans. I love knowing what's up. I love being in control because I'm very type A, but I also just love challenges, and I think that's a big part of being an entrepreneur, kind of like your story. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it, but I'm really enjoying it. It's an
Good.
interesting process for me. I'm really nervous, but I'm loving the process.
Good, and that's all you can do is love the process. So, what is your wish for the world in 2021? Like, what are we lacking in a sense, and what is something that you want to tell everyone about your perspective?
Oh gosh. I think everyone should just remember to be there for each other because with everything going on, I know it must be so hard and with everyone's specific situation, it might be even more difficult. And so remembering that you have other people and you're not alone and we're all in this together and you have a supportive community to encourage you to continue going towards whatever passions you have, like don't let the pandemic stop you. And so I think it's important to be there for each other, to encourage each other, and just remember that we're all rising up together.
Oh, that's so inspiring. I have a very similar wish for the world too, and it is a brand new year and we're just so excited to take it on, but I think I agree with you. I think the pandemic has been very detrimental and very sad, but also there's life past the pandemic, and it's so important to remember that. So that's a good point. On a lighter note, what is one tip that you can leave with my audience when it comes to living a healthy lifestyle?
Um, so I've said this so many times already, but consistency is key. You
Yep.
have to be patient with yourself because results are not going to come overnight. And so, as much as it sucks to go through the process, just like it sucks to go through my current process, you have to enjoy the process. And so, just remind yourself why you're doing it, find a deeper why, and that will help motivate you. So always keep your goals in sight and remember that you will get there. Just keep working hard. It's not going to happen overnight, but as long as you stay consistent, it will happen.
Oh, wow, I love that. I feel like that's like what I say all the time, so I feel so connected to you in that sense, and
Oh,
I love your perspective on life and just like your upbeat enthusiasm and your passion for what you do because I truly think that shows. So, finally, can you please plug yourself and tell us where everyone can find you?
all right. So my Instagram is SaviWin. It's SaviWin. That's also my TikTok and my Snapchat. Twitter is SaviWinFit. And my YouTube is coming soon. There aren't any videos on there yet, but that is also SaviWin. So the only username that's different is my Twitter because that one was already taken.
That's awesome. So everyone please go find her. I love her Instagram. I love her TikToks. Again, she is so inspirational times a thousand. And I'm just so grateful that you could take this time today. So thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy this was my first podcast.
I
I'm
know.
really happy I did it with you.
Yay. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening in. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this episode. And if that inspired you, I would love if you shared on your social media platforms and tagged me at LilyGrace_lifestyle on Instagram. Or you can visit my website at www.lilygraceyork.com to see my show notes and leave a review as well. I would love to hear your feedback, so please tell me everything and anything that you learned today. Stay classy, stay bossy, and stay listening.